Welcome to an overview of St. Louis area movie theaters and drive-ins from 1960 to 1969. 1960. The Loews Mid-City reopens on May 27th with Ben-Hur at the Old Orpheum Theater. The Mounds Drive-In in East St. Louis to Falcon Drive-In as Mid-America takes it over. These theaters closed in 1960. 1961. Smith Management becomes General Drive-Ins. The Altwood Drive-In Theater in Wood River, Illinois is reopened as the Capri Drive-In in March. The Osage Theater in Kirkwood is taken over by Arthur Enterprises. The Marquee at the Lindell Theater comes crashing down on May 8th and never reopen. These theaters also closed in 1961. 1962. The Olympic Drive-In Theater in Overland opens on July 3rd. The Grandview Cinema in Florissant opened on October 31st under General Cinema, becoming the first suburban cinema in the area. These theaters closed in 1962. 1963. The Martin Cinerama opens as the first major theater in St. Louis in 35 years on January 10th. The Paris Art Theater reopens at the Old West End Art Theater on September 20th, showing art movies for adults only. The Gaslight Cinema opens in October. The Apollo Art changed to Inflix and Pub Policy. The Northside Theater is taken over by Mid-America Theaters. Gem in St. John to General Cinema. The Criterion Theater closes. (1964). The Futura Drive-In Theater in Cahokia, Illinois opens on May 1st. The Crestwood Theater in Crestwood is opened by Mid-America Theaters on June 5th. The Sunset Hills Cinema 1 and 2 is opened by General Cinema as the first indoor twin cinema in the area on December 25th. The Beverly Theater in University City is taken over by Mid-America Theaters. These theaters closed in 1964. 1965. Arthur Enterprises opens the Aliceville Theater on May 7th. The Lewis and Clark Theater in Moline Acres is opened by Arthur Enterprises on June 11th. The 270 Drive-In Theater in Florissant is opened by Warenberg and Arthur Enterprises on September 1st. These theaters closed in 1965. (1966) The Village Theater in Hazelwood was opened by Mid-America Theaters on March 25th. BAC Cine launched at the Skyview Drive-In lot in Belleville, Illinois on September 2nd. General Cinema opened the Northland Cinema in Country Club Hills and the South County Cinema in Melwood, both on November 23rd. On the same day, Warenberg Theaters reopened the Crown Theater in Ferguson at the former Savoy Theater site. These theaters closed in 1966. (1967) The Stadium Cinema is opened by Arthur Enterprises on May 24th as the first new cinema downtown since the 1920s. The Old Uptown Theater in Alton, Illinois is reopened by Mid-America Theaters as the Cameo Theater on June 30th. The Old Paris Art reopens as the Expo Art Adult Cinema on July 21st. The Beverly Theater in University City is reopened by Mid-America Theaters as the Fine Arts Theater on October 6th. The St. N Cinema in St. and is opened by Arthur Enterprises on October 20th. These theaters closed in 1967. 1968. The former Rivoli Theater was reopened as the Town Theater by Mid-America on March 27th. On June 28th, the Osage Theater in Kirkwood was renamed the Kirkwood Cinema under the management of Arthur Enterprises. The Martin Cinerama was rebranded as the Translux Cinerama on July 8th. The Fox Mark Twain in Sappington commenced operations on August 28th. The former Roxana Theater in Alton, Illinois resumed business as the BAC Cine on September 27th. These theaters closed in 1968. 1969. The Fox Cypress Village in St. and opens on April 2nd. The Interstate 70 Drive-In Theater in St. Peters is opened by Mid-America Theaters on June 6th. The Creve Coeur Cinema in Creve Coeur is opened by Warenberg Theaters on June 19th. The Northwest Plaza Cinema in St. and is opened by General Cinema on June 25th. The Pontoon in East St. Louis is opened and closed by the end of the year. The Tivoli Theater in University City is renamed by Arthur Theater as the Magic Lantern Cinema. These theaters closed in 1969. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe for more.